basketball when they've added Buddy Hield and replaced Clay. Buddy Hield is actually playing defense for like one of the first times in his career. He has.
I like Buddy Hield.
Dude, he has the motivation to play defense now, and he's always shot the ball so damn well. So I think that it's going to be – I think that addition's a lot bigger than what people give anything credit for.
Yeah.
My pick tonight is Warriors. I think they're hand Cleveland the first losses.
All right, everybody, welcome. And we always love the Buddy Hield talk.
I love it. It's never going to get old.
I know.
Never gets old.
It's so funny
Doesn't get old.
when you record something like that, and 3, 4, 5 months later, you're just like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So, but anyways, how's everybody doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
Beautiful.
Just got back from DC with a school field trip.
Oh,
High school
nice.
juniors went to DC for spring break and got to go chaperone that. And it was fun. It was a good time. Walked over 30 miles in 4 days. So
I was gonna say, you look
my
like you got
pinky
some
toe on my
sun, Dre.
left foot. Yeah, my pinky toe on my left foot is feeling it right now.
Oh, that's funny.
I
That's
must
just
walk
normal.
weird because that's the only toe that hurts.
That's just a normal weekend for me, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Awesome. I think this might be the first time in a while we've had all four, so that'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. So,
Yeah.
Josh is on a run, but Trey just keeps leading it. So, what do we do? Somebody's got to hack his computer.
Come at me.
Something.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
I think that'd be good. I'll share the stuff here. So,
I guess we got to change the logo, right? Are we going to do this or what? I mean, Josh is here. He wants to.
Oh, I was doing the weekly
Yeah,
winner.
Kale.
Sorry. Or the,
I appreciate
the
it. I mean, if we want all weeks, this is appropriate. But if we're going week 19, got to give it to my man Josh.
How about that?
There
That
we
better?
go. There we go.
There we
There
go.
it is.
Man, it's been months for that one.
Oh, I feel you.
Dude, 21. Dude, that was a week, dude. That was a great week. 21.
Yeah, Nerf
picks.
had a good week.
It's a great week.
I gave
Nerf's
it a
just sneaky,
couple-
man. If he'd been playing this whole time, he'd probably be leading the whole thing.
I know,
He
right?
is very sneaky.
Super sneaky.
Yeah, let's see how the the year-to-date standings look. So, 9-game lead for Trey on Josh and 11 on me. Nerf is 25, but he's missed a couple weeks.
9-game lead
Tommy's-
with 4 weeks left. If I had the same week I had last week, I'm in trouble.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
we need 3 more of those, Trey. Oh wait, we
Yeah,
only have
you
3
need
weeks
3 more of
left.
those.
Damn.
You need 3 more of this. I do
Yeah.
not.
Well,
I
I
do
was
not.
I was telling Trey before you guys jumped on here, I was looking at the Lakers lineup yesterday, and because they've got this like 6 games in 8 day stretch, and like none of the starters played. LeBron's out, Rui's out, Luka sat, Reeves sat. There's probably somebody else that sat. It was like, and we're kind of in that silly season where you just don't know what the lineup's going to be. So there's going to be some wild. I might have to go crazy and just be like, try to, either bomb it or just, go 25-0 or something like that to make
I mean,
a run.
the teams at the bottom are not trying to win anything at this point. So,
Right.
you should never pick any of those. The hard part's when they go against each other, which one has the greatest desire to lose. Can I just say this for a second, though, on the all-week standings here? The thing I'm most proud of here, I think, are the
There you go.
tiebreak differences. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm still proud of that because I came out of the gates stumbling
with that
on that one.
with that
Yeah.
1980s final score mentality.
Dude, I was watching The Last Dance again just for fun recently. And man, I'm telling you, the scores were like 84-80. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nuts. Those games were so low scoring compared to – I mean, if you got over 100 points in those games, people are like, dang, nobody's playing defense. It was
Yeah,
like this
man,
weird-
they went off.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's rare to score 100. Now they're scoring 100 by 3 quarters. I mean, I think that game we went to, Josh, down in Memphis last week, I think they were like in the 90s at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, Cleveland was.
Well, at least Cleveland was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
pretty wild.
What was the
Pretty much
takeaway
the new
from that
norm.
game for you guys?
What was that, Cal?
What was the takeaway for you guys from that game since you got to see one live? Cleveland. And
Cleveland is deep.
Yeah.
Cleveland is deep.
Yeah.
I mean, they it's like these guys come in and they're like I mean, they don't have a lot of big name players on their team, but man, they all are solid fundamentally. They move the ball well. They play defense really, really well. They rotate really, really well in defense. I mean, they're deep. I mean, they're probably going to play 10 or 11 in the playoffs. And that's, most of the time you're like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And they're going to go 10 or 11. They're going to wear teams down just from that alone. and over like a 5-game series, 7-game series, they're going to be tough to beat. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to win it all, but I was really impressed. I mean, they couldn't really stop Ja, but I mean, who can? I mean, but
Right.
I think it was Josh. I can't remember this. I think it was third quarter. Ja had like 36 or something, and they didn't have anyone else in double figures on Memphis.
No. Yeah. It was I mean, outside of Ja, it was just a poor game for Memphis. And they actually still had a chance to win it too. They started getting
Yeah, that's
close at
crazy
the
part.
end. I think it even got to single digits or close to it.
It was the trash minutes. The trash minutes.
Yeah, those
the
guys
bench
finally
players
decided to
played
turn it
pretty well
on.
and did well. Yeah, they cut the lead in half, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those games where you look at the box score, and you're like, oh, it was a close game. It was not a close game.
It
Yeah.
was
At
not
all.
a close game.
From like 5 minutes on in the first quarter, it was not close. But I was really impressed with Cleveland. I mean, I hadn't really watched them play much this season, just to be transparent. So like watching them and watching how they move the ball, how they just move. That was the thing we noticed too. I mean, Josh, how many times did we watch that on the offensive end? Memphis just standing around, one-on-one ball and just standing around.
So
you
much,
never saw
yeah.
it with Cleveland. They were running, cutting, screening, everything. They just kept moving. It was impressive. I was really impressed with them.
Yeah. No, it's fun to watch. That definitely stood out. And I think it stands out for so many teams in the NBA, like the Suns, and just a quick update on the Phoenix Suns. They are in the 10th spot, so they're in the play-in at this moment.
That's because we all haven't been here to talk enough trash to get them to fall down. But honestly,
Tommy,
no. I mean, but I'm shocked that I'm shocked that they've held on. I mean, Dallas trading Luka helped them a ton, and
that was big. And Portland's probably not going to catch up. San Antonio's probably not going to catch up. I mean,
no, so
they're probably
they'll
in a
be in
good
the 10th spot. But the question is, Josh, do they get bounced out right away, or do they even get into the
They get bounced out right away, no doubt. I just want them to make the play-in. It's a happy medium for me, Tommy, after thinking that they're going to have a great year, but clearly they just are going to be blowing it up.
I mean, let's just talk about this too. Phoenix gets in the playoffs, which was it was critical there for a while. Chicago's in the 9th spot. They're going to make the playoffs. I mean, it looks pretty safe for them. I mean, they're it looks really safe for them.
So we traded away our best player and we got even better.
I'm telling you, sometimes it's not the player; it's the group. I mean, it's who plays well together.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 76ers. They're out. They have arguably one of the best players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
two really good players.
Yeah,
and they got to me, he's the anomaly right now in the league, which Quentin Grimes. He's on a Linsanity run right now.
Yep.
Beyond Linsanity run, he's literally averaging like 40.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
really crazy.
The one thing I'll say about Cleveland, I mean, number one, like they're going to be really tough defensively. I feel like even matching up with Boston, that they can match up pretty well. I mean, their guards are a little bit smaller. With like Garland would have a hard time because he'd be guarded by a combination of Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown and whatnot. But I mean, it almost feels inevitable that it's for sure going to be those two teams, and I really hope that they make the Eastern Conference Finals, both of them. But they also won that game pretty handedly without Donovan Mitchell, so that was pretty impressive too. And like Garland came out cold too in the first half, wasn't hitting his shots, missed some floaters that he normally hits and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they're just super deep, man. Like there's a guy, I think his name's Javonte Green, never heard of him, wasn't aware of this guy at all, and he just balled out.
Javonte Green is literally one of the best Chicago Bulls players of all time. He bounces out of the gym, brother. I love Javonte Green.
That guy was balling.
He's also a great Twitter follower.
Is he?
Great.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Chicago Bull great, Javonte Green. Anyway, yeah, he hooped. But yeah, no, that's going to be so fun to watch. And I think with like Jared Allen and Mobley, the tough part about Cleveland, like Cleveland's going to be really good if they just keep their group together, because they're all still relatively young and still kind of entering their prime. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's probably the oldest maybe, and he's not even old at this point, within his tenure. So they're going to be pretty dangerous. And I think that they can hang with Boston, but I think for Boston, it really depends if KP can stay healthy or not. I think he's the big X factor.
So here's something interesting is since the Friday game, Magic bounced them on Saturday or Sunday. The Magic ended the 16-game winning streak They haven't won since. They play the Suns tonight. Are they going to lose 4 straight to the Magic, Clippers, Kings, and Suns?
No.
And the last 2 games, they had Donovan Mitchell in the lineup playing. I mean, significant minutes. So it's interesting. It's weird. It's like I don't know if they're just like they're trying some new stuff. if they're resting players a little bit more, just to like playing them, but resting a little bit and not trying so hard. I don't know, but it's three bad games in a row.
It's a good call. I don't know.
No, it is good notice in there.
I mean, the Suns really need to win. I mean, they need to keep it going. They probably need to win. I would imagine. I mean, there's 12 games left. They probably need to win.
So are you tipping your hand and saying who you're picking tonight?
I'm not tipping my hand and saying who I'm picking. I'm just saying it's interesting that Cleveland's going to lose 4 in a row if they lose to the Suns, who really need to win. So
yeah,
I need to go back and see who I picked. That's what I need to
do. I know, and see, it's a home game for the Suns, right? Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I noticed
sometimes traveling late in the season, people are tired. You never know.
Yeah, it seemed like to me, it's been a few days since I've done the picks, but it seemed like there was a lot of games, a lot of road teams that should win.
Yes.
That are favored, and you're like, yeah, it's always, do I go with the team that should win, or do I, pick some flyers because I got to make up 11 games,
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll find out, guys.
Yeah, we'll find out. So, well, we got about 13 regular season games roughly left. Any other predictions you guys see out there? I mean, the East, I think I put is pretty solid as far as the top 6, even the 7 through 10, or maybe a little bit of movement here and there, but it doesn't feel like anybody's going to jump in or drop out.
I don't think anybody's going to. There's not a lot of movement. I mean, you got Detroit solid at 6. I don't think that's going to change at all. So I think the playing games are pretty set in the East. You might get a little movement. Atlanta and Orlando might swap or something like that, but I think that's pretty set. Golden State's kind of holding on to that 6 right now. You got Minnesota that's on their heels, Clippers as well. And you got Memphis, who hasn't been playing that great. I mean, they're 5-5 in the last 10. They lost the last 2. They didn't play well Friday. We were there. So I think there could be a little bit of shuffle in the Western Conference, but not much. I mean, it's pretty solid there. I mean, you have 2-game difference from 3 to 6. That could be there could be some shuffling there, but
yeah. Well, and going to the Lakers, I mean, I don't know how long LeBron's going to be out, and they got this kind of crazy stretch, so they're going to probably play Luka every other game or something. So they're probably going to split those. That's my guess.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is that they're only 4 games out of the play-in games.
I know.
They have a bad stretch of 6 or 7 games here, and they could find themselves close to that.
Well, and Curry went out. I don't know if you guys saw last night. He didn't finish the game. Landed on his tailbone, it sounded like, which sometimes really hurts, but isn't a long-term thing. But could miss a game or 2. It's like nothing like having a bruised tailbone and trying to go out there and run and play the way he does.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, no timing's really.
He's getting old,
but for him to get some rest, I mean, he's gonna get rest now at this point, just like LeBron with his groin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's getting old. He's not going to bounce back quite as quick as maybe he would have, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah,
well, for sure.
That's crazy to say that he's getting old, but it is. In NBA terms, he is.
Yeah,
I saw there's a video though on you can probably find it on Twitter somewhere, but him, I guess like coming back from his groin injury, and it's him pre-game, and I don't know if anybody saw it, but he's like basically just running and dunking, goal to goal, like. Pretty good speed, and it's just unbelievable that guy can like move the way that he moves at that age.
Yeah,
just I don't know, it's fun to watch even from like a warm-up.
Yeah, it is impressive. I'll tell you the team that I've got my eyes on, and that is I've been enjoying watching the Pacers. They're scrappy. They're scrappy. I think in a playoff series, like they look like dogs to me, in a playoff series, I think they could surprise people. I think they could go a little bit deeper than people think. I don't know if they can get to the Eastern Conference Final, but I wouldn't be surprised if they got the Eastern Conference Final.
It wouldn't shock me. Yeah, they did last year, and I think the first half of this year, I don't know if it was a injury from Halliburton. I don't know if it was a chemistry problem. They just didn't look very good the first half of the season. But I think now that they've really gotten back into their groove, definitely post All-Star break, but definitely post New Year, they've looked really good. And I think that they could, yeah, like Trey said, it wouldn't shock me if they now ended up in the Eastern Conference Finals again.
Yeah.
They're scrappy as hell.
Of the top 6 teams in the East, they give up the most points per game, which is I think it's skewed to the beginning of the season, like you said, because these lately they've been dogs, man. Like just watch them play. They're scrappy. They don't give up. They just keep fighting. They've been fun to watch.
It looks like right now they're lined up against the Bucks in the first round.
That would be fun to watch.
That'd be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. And then if they win that, obviously the 4-5 plays the 1.
Right. That's why I think in their current spot, I don't think they get to the conference final. But they're fun to watch. If they can somehow sneak into that 3 slot, now I'm interested. They're
3 games out of the Knicks.
Right. I mean, they got a ways to go in the next 12 games, but that to me that's a little more interesting.
Yeah,
they're not going to be an easy out. Yeah. And I mean, the one thing too compared to last year, I mean, I think one of the things that hurt them was like they basically had Halliburton and Siakam is still kind of new to that organization, so he's got another year under his belt. But I want to see Ben Mathurin on their team in the playoffs, man. I like that guy. That guy just got a confidence about him. Yeah, man, he's one of those guys that I feel like he could have a couple of those games in the playoffs where he's putting up over 30 and just make the difference and just win it. So people sleep on Indiana every year because it's just a small market anyway.
Yeah, they do.
But they're deep.
What about the West as far as like a sleeper team?
Clippers.
I mean, I don't know if I'm going Clippers. I actually think that if Steph's healthy, I think Golden State can make a little bit of a run.
Yeah, they're 6 right now. So they'd be lined up against the Nuggets right now, but I think that could change, like we already said, because you got the Rockets at 12.5 games. I mean, there's 2 games between 2nd and 5th. So it's like that's crazy.
Could be a little movement there, but I think that if especially Curry getting a little rest right now with the legs. If he comes back feeling really good and shooting the ball well, with Butler. I mean, I just see them as a little bit more scary now than a month ago in the playoffs because they got experience. They added a dog who's got experience in the playoffs.
Yeah, you get playoff Jimmy going, and I mean he's motivated, and that guy he just wills his way to the bucket and gets to the line and just. I mean, it's impressive to watch. Just his ability.
Can Golden State beat Denver in a 5-game series? I think the answer is yes. Can Golden State beat Houston in a 7-game series?
Mm-hmm.
I like them. I like that as well. I like that. I'm not against that at all. I think they definitely could, especially from an experience standpoint.
Yeah, I almost think experience against Houston is going to be critical if they line up against them because, I mean. I know they got a good coach and everything, but they don't have a lot of playoff experience with
it's just everything speeds up. Everything speeds up in those moments. And like if you're just not used to it, even if you're good, sometimes it's just hard to adjust and play the same game and get a little out of whack. Then you start thinking.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I was watching with March Madness going on. I was watching Survive and Advance, the North Carolina State documentary, and it's interesting because back in the day. People weren't fouling people at the end of the game to put them on the free throw line. But in doing that, it just made them think and do things they normally wouldn't do. I mean, they were like the best free throw shooter in a conference. They put him on the line. The dude missed 2 free throws. It's like those moments, it's hard to prepare for that if you've never been there. It's just hard to prepare. I mean, people talk about how Jordan didn't win early on. Yeah, he didn't win early on, but he played pretty well. But I think it taught him what to do when he had the right team because he started to rely on John Paxson and he started to rely on other players because he understood, I think, what it took to win in those games. Like if you haven't been there before, man, it's tough. It speeds things up, man. It's really, really hard to be good the first time through the playoffs. Really, really hard to be good.
Yeah, I mean, that's why there's nothing that can replace experience, right?
And it's why rookies on the PGA Tour rarely win a major in their rookie season when they're playing for the first time. Like, it's very rare for a guy who is one of the best golfers in the world, clearly, to go into a major championship for the first time and win. Like,
Yeah.
it's just you just feel different. Everything
Yeah.
feels different. It's hard to get comfortable. It's hard to do things you normally would do.
Yeah, it's the mind that plays with you, especially if you're playing golf, right? Because I mean, the mental side of golf is nuts.
That's all you have. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody bigger than you or stronger than you is going to hurt you. Like, they can't impact your game at all. It's all you, right? And I think, like, I think this is. I go back to this. This is why I think Jaden Daniels had such a great playoff run for the Commanders, is because he practiced at faster speeds with
Yeah,
the
the
VR. Like, he
virtual
practiced
stuff he did.
processing things faster. So when he got in the playoffs and things sped up, it still felt relatively normal. The regular season probably felt really slow to him, I would
Mhm.
imagine, and boring. And then the playoffs felt normal, more normal than I think another rookie quarterback would feel,
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly. That's cool. Tommy, it's been a while. What's on your mind?
I'm excited the Bulls blew it up. I'm excited that we've got a year of getting rid of kind of some of these players, seeing what we've got with Matis, with Kobe White. Kobe White is that guy, and I'd love to see the Bulls build around him. I'm super stoked about the Pistons, honestly. Like, I probably shouldn't be as a Bulls fan, but honestly, like, them coming from the from the bottom, and man, they played so well this year. Like, them being in the top of the standings, and honestly, they could make a little noise in the playoffs. So I'm excited about them too. Yeah, man, there's a lot of cool stuff in the NBA, and a lot of these like Midwestern small market teams making a little bit of noise.
You might lose some friends talking like that, dude. That's something. You have Detroit
I
props
know.
like that.
I
That's
know.
wild. That's wild. Hey, I was just noticing this. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but in the West, you got 6, 7, and 8 playing really well. Golden State's 9-1 in the last 10. Clippers 7-3. Timberwolves 8-2. Like, they're coming. Those teams are coming on and trying to move up,
tight.
their spot, trying to get out of that playing game. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, not having to be in the playing game is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one more game. Yeah, exactly. At that time of year, one more game, 48 more minutes on your legs.
Well, and
going
just
through
the
whole
rest, right? If you can
routine
get 2 days, because I forget the timing, but if you can get 4 days rest versus 2 day,
Yeah, it's
that's
huge.
huge.
Yeah,
Big
it's huge.
difference.
So those teams are playing well, and the mid teams, Denver, Los Angeles, and the Grizzlies are all 5-5 in the last 10. Like, they're the worst, along with the
Mhm.
Suns in the last 10. So
A lot of those, when you look at the Lakers and the Nuggets, they've rested a lot.
yeah,
Big time.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's the reason why they're 5-5.
Yeah, Jokic hasn't played, and Murray haven't. There's a couple games they haven't played at all.
Mhm.
yeah, man. If I was a fan, I'd hate that so much. I mean, imagine if it's like, end of the season, the only chance you get to take your kid to a game, and these guys are all resting. Man, I don't know if I'm ever going to get over that. I think that's something that I just appreciate about the old guard. Is that they just didn't take nights off.
Yeah, I want to
just
look
didn't
up
do it.
the lineup for the Lakers last night because I think it was pretty crazy to see who started. So let's see, it was Morris. So is that Markieff? Yeah, Markieff Morris,
What?
Jackson Hayes, Gabe Vincent, Goodwin, and Dalton Connect. That was their starting 5 last night.
Oh, that's just brutal.
Yeah, I mean Goodwin was a 2-way player. He's played well for them, but Jordan Goodwin. Has anybody ever heard of him?
I've seen him because the
Yeah.
Lakers are on TV damn near every night at this point, but
Right.
he's not. He's off the bench,
Hey.
man.
Hey, Bronny had 17. He looked really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, he was
7 of
minus
10.
36 though when he was on the court though.
Hey, 17 points. He had
Dude, went up
17 points.
points.
We don't look at the plus minus for Bronny.
Yeah, Stephen
Yeah.
A says he might have been wrong. I see that on Bronny.
I don't know if we should jump that. I don't know.
I
Like,
know.
listen,
He
listen.
did. He shot the
Listen, in
ball
college
well.
one time,
He shot the ball well.
we were on a back-to-back. We were playing Rockhurst. They weren't in our league during league play. I got a ton of minutes that game I normally don't get. I put up 13. Nobody should have been like, dude, this guy can score. No, it's like I played 10, 15 extra minutes than normal. I got some open looks. Nobody was concerned about the results of the game. We all knew it, right?
Mhm.
I mean, like, No, nobody's like, ooh, this guy might be our starting point guard. Like nobody thought that.
No, he's not going to be a starter. But
No.
if you watch the highlights, man, like he shook Giannis on one play. Like his confidence level looked different last night. I'm not saying that. Oh, I think Bronny will be a 10-point scorer one of these days. But when you watch the plays that he made, they were good plays. Like the big thing for him has been his confidence. His confidence has just been shot. When you watch his highlights in the G League versus when he actually gets on the court in the NBA, he runs to the corner and he stands in the corner. But last night he played like he's been playing in the G League where he's been scoring 30. And I'm not the biggest believer in Bronny, but I was shocked to watch it. It was impressive.
Listen,
minus 36 in all.
In any walk of life, people know when they've earned something when they haven't. People know that, right? And when you've earned it, you have confidence. When you haven't earned it, you don't have confidence. And he knows that he did not earn his spot into the league. But it's okay. His dad is LeBron, whatever. If his dad wasn't LeBron, there's no way he's playing in the league. There's no way, right? So it makes sense that he didn't have confidence. But when you get him out there and you say, hey, we don't care if you win or lose this game, just play. Which I'm pretty sure that's how the pregame talk went. Like, just go out and play. Just play loose, play free, play fun. He probably just felt more comfortable. Like the results don't matter, which is how any athlete really should play anything. Is the results don't matter. That's when you always play your best. You get into flow states and get in the zone. Like that's a whole different thing. So I'm not surprised. But you put him in a game that matters. With the starting 5 minus 1. I don't think he plays like that. I don't think he's trying those moves against Giannis. I don't think he's doing those things.
You don't think he scores 17 in the playoffs?
No, I do not. So here's an interesting question is, look, let's say LeBron retires after this season. Let's just throw it out there. I don't think he's going to, but let's just say he does. How long is Bronny staying in the league?
A year.
Until his contract is up, because it's guaranteed.
But is he going to play? Is he actually going to be on the bench playing?
I mean,
how long is he actually going to be playing in the league?
Maybe in the G League, but I mean, he could be if he continues playing this way, he could be an okay role player for 10 minutes a night. But I don't see him sticking around very long, to be honest.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I don't think he makes it through a season with the team on the bench. I think they might give him a chance in the beginning, just out of respect for LeBron, and I don't know.
We'll see.
It's merit-based. You got to earn it.
It's a long career. It's like, you look at Scottie Pippen Jr., Trey. We got to see him, and he's bounced from G League, and like he played good minutes. It's just taken him. They're about the same size of a guard. They kind of I'm not saying they play similar. Bronny's more athletic than he is. Scottie's probably a better ball handler, but it's taken Scottie a few years, 4 years or so to kind of mold into that. So
and that I would respect. Let him play the G League for a couple years and see if he makes it on his own. To me, that would respect that.
Yeah, Scottie's kind of hung his hat on defense too.
Oh yeah,
he's really dug in on defense, picking guys up full court. Making a difference that way.
Which way, guys, his dad did that. His dad was a dog in that case.
Either way, guys, they're gonna go down as the top father-son scoring duo ever. So that's all that matters. Okay.
Talking about Bronny and LeBron, or Scottie and Scottie?
No, Bronny, because
Bronny and LeBron.
So many points.
Okay, so here's a question then. Who lasts longer in the league from this point on, Pippen Jr. or Bronny?
Pippen Jr.
Yeah, How many years does he already have though?
He gets meaningful minutes on the 4th best team, 5th best team in the West. So, he's a good backup to Ja.
Yeah,
but look, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Bronny does next year. It's way too early, because look, I'm a huge Steph fan, man. I never even anticipated Steph coming into the league being an all-star, and if you watch how Steph moved and everything his first year and all that kind of stuff, it's just so much different. Like he's blossomed into a whole, like, just
scouting report on him was hilarious.
It's so different. And so the fact that he's got LeBron as his dad, he's going to be a high IQ player. I
think he'll end up being a coach. I think he's going to be like, he'll be like a Luke Walton, where Luke actually played significant minutes and was really good, but he'll play a little bit, and then I think he'll go into coaching, because I think you're right. I think he's smart. I think
where is Luke Walton these days?
He's living a good life somewhere in California. Imagine.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
I hope Austin Rivers becomes a coach. I want to see Rivers
I
coach.
agree.
I've been listening to some more
Yeah.
like clips of his podcast and stuff, and Austin Rivers knows
He's
ball.
smart, dude.
Super
Yeah.
smart.
He's smart. Yeah.
I mean, you live with Doc Rivers, you're gonna know a little bit about the game.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I don't know.
Really quick, I want to go back to the West because I think the East is kind of like we understand what's going to happen and all that kind of stuff in the East, but the West, all right. So the Golden State Clippers, Timberwolves, like 670 is obviously a tight race. It's going to be interesting to see if Golden State can hang on. To me, Golden State and the Clippers are like the two biggest question marks because they have two players, in my opinion, where like they just elevate their game in the playoffs and you don't really know what's going to happen. But with Butler and then with the Clippers with Kawhi, man, we have not talked about Kawhi all year. And I know he's hurt all the damn time. But
I love Kawhi. I have zero trust in Kawhi Leonard. I love him,
but
I'm not putting.
You can't say that though because he's a 2 times Finals MVP. He's won a chip. He won a chip for the Raptors. Like the guy
did that.
So, but like if you were to take the Clippers and Harden, they've obviously got Harden. Harden's still playing well. I'm not the biggest James Harden fan, especially when it comes to playoff James Harden. But you've got Harden, you've got Kawhi, and you've got another 20-point scorer in Norman Powell. Like, if I'm the Rockets or the Thunder, I don't want to play those dudes first round.
No, not
at all. Because they could, in my opinion, like that's gonna be tough.
I don't know that I feel the same level of confidence about these Clippers as I would of the Raptors or the Spurs with Kawhi Leonard. I don't know that I would feel the same level of confidence. I mean, you're absolutely right that he's got Harden, but you don't know what he's going to get with that. You have no idea what you're going to get with Harden in the playoffs.
He just gave you 33 against the Cavs.
That's not the playoffs. I'm talking the playoffs. I mean, he's got a record.
Guys, Kawhi Leonard is proven in the playoffs. This isn't James Harden, who
I know he is
like historically gone lower.
But he also had
Kawhi
good teams.
Leonard
That Raptors team was solid. That Spurs team was solid. Like Kawhi was great. He was definitely
Spurs team was solid. He was not even talked about like that going into the thing, and he was the Finals MVP with Tim Duncan and all those dudes against LeBron James and the
possibly
the big
because
they
had Tim Duncan. They had the others
because he's that
they didn't
good.
Put the
it's
focus
Kawhi
on
Leonard,
him.
bro.
They didn't put the focus on him.
All right. Now forget the Phoenix Suns. We're gonna go look at Kawhi Leonard if he's healthy. This is gonna be. Ooh, I'm clipping this one.
Yeah,
literally. No pun intended.
Yeah. Well, Zubac is a good center too. He had 20 rebounds against the Cavs. I mean, that's crazy.
They're going to be a tough matchup team for sure.
Mm-hmm.
They've got experience on that team. I'm just saying, like the East again. I think we understand how the East is going to play out, but to me, the West is strictly going to be about who actually matches up with who. Like, I think the Warriors can actually make it all the way through the West. The only team that I think that will stop them if they got matched up with them is the Nuggets. I just don't think that they'd be able to handle Jokic. Historically, the Warriors always do pretty poorly against like bigs like him.
Yeah.
I think Murray will come around in the playoffs like he normally does. But other than that, I like their matchups against most of the other teams. So yeah, I don't know. The seeding plays such a big factor of who's matching up against who. So we'll see.
Yeah, time will tell. Well, and they have your like favorite player too, Bogdanović. Isn't that the guy you wanted to get rid of?
Yeah. Life's good, man.
Hey, listen, I wouldn't be crushed if the Clippers did well because my boy Tyronn Lue is the coach, and I played against him in high school. Mad respect for that guy. So would not be upset if he did well. I'm just saying I don't know that I trust this team for Kawhi as I would the others that he did really well.
Well, I've been burned by the Clippers too many times. Yeah. I've been burned by him too many times. I love Kawhi Leonard. I have no trust in James Harden. And
is he going to? And if James Harden going to play?
And if Harden can't score, who's their next scorer? Norman Powell. So everyone's going to look at Norman Powell. He's not going to score 20 points tonight. So then you've got Kawhi scoring.
Yes, he is. No, don't disrespect Norman Powell.
I will. I love Norman Powell. I love Norman Powell. He's not going to score 20 points tonight in the playoffs.
Guys, here's what we have to understand. We have to clip this. Here's what we have to understand, right? This isn't like a SGA situation where like if SGA is out of the picture, all these the game's easier for Norman Powell because Norman Powell has Kawhi and he's got James Harden on his team.
He's playing
James
the Kawhi role from the Spurs.
James Harden
he
can
might.
give you
Yes.
40. Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. But like, truth be told, all those dudes are going to give you 20.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Well,
all
he's
gonna give
averaging
you 20.
23 for the season
Yes, he's
Yeah.
legit.
on
He's
49% shooting.
Well, here's part of the
Killer.
problem. If Kawhi's not healthy, James Harden isn't playing well, and the defense will key on Norman Powell.
Yep.
That's going to make it harder.
No.
Okay.
You can't. There's no keying in on anybody on this team, man. You can't do that. Like, there's
Man, you're
only
going
so
all
many
in on the
teams.
Clippers. Man, you are.
Oh, it's just
You went-
matchups, man. Like, you can't. If Kawhi Leonard and James Harden are both on the floor, you can't say, okay, cool, we're gonna go blitz Norman Powell and leave James Harden.
You can leave James Harden open in the playoffs. When he shoots, it's a brick. Whether he's open, whether
Oh,
he's at the
Why do I-
rim, it doesn't go in the basket.
Why do I get invested in these guys I don't even care about? I don't even know, man. Like I'm not a Clippers fan either, but to me, it's like, you can't obviously use history because to me, like Clippers had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and we're talking that team. That team is different, right? Like I'm not going to trust those guys in the playoffs. The reason why it's different is because there's only a finite number of players in the NBA that when they get into the playoffs, you say, I don't want to mess with these guys.
James
And
Harden, you want to
stop.
mess
No,
with
no,
him
no,
in
no,
the
no.
playoffs?
No.
Why?
Kawhi Leonard is on the team. That's all I'm going to say. We are minimal years away from Kawhi Leonard being considered at the number one player in the world. We are
Yeah.
minimal years away from that. He's not like a
He's
shell
still
of
made.
himself.
He's still made of glass right now.
He is still made of glass, but he is playing basketball, and he just gave the Cleveland Cavaliers 33 boys. Buckle up. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, Harden's averaging 2 less points per game in the playoffs regular season over his career. He's shooting the ball worse from 3.
How many points is he averaging in the playoffs in his career?
22.7.
Okay, so he's going to give you 20, right? He's going to give you a lot of assists. I'm just saying, like, that team is not one you want to, like, that's going to be fun to play in a 7-game series. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're going to win it all, but in the first round, in my opinion, could they beat Houston or OKC? Yes, I think they could actually have a good chance of beating both of them. If they get swept, I'll eat my words and, I'll go like.
They're not going to get swept. I think Harden will have a little inspiration playing against Houston, so they're not going to get swept. That series to me can go either way. I'm not banking on either team in that regard.
They could beat
I could
Houston.
see the Clippers playing an inspired series, especially coming out of the gate, playing well. I could see them winning that one. I just don't see them going beyond that at all.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be
No,
surprised they lost it.
I think they can just upset any team that they match up with in the first round. I don't think that they can run the table throughout the whole thing.
Nah. No
I'd
chance.
still staying in the West. I'd love to see the Thunder play the T-Wolves in the first round.
The Thunder and T-Wolves.
Yeah. I mean, just because
That'd be fun.
And versus SGA would be fun.
Last year they were so close, right? And this year coming in, they were a lot of people's favorite.
That would be a good match.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun series.
Then they traded Cat.
That'd be a lot of fun.
So I mean,
Little Ant versus
And would take that
SGA.
personal big time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would
He
be
might wear
fun.
himself out for the rest of the playoffs.
I know.
All right, last thing really quick on that I have. So the Suns are going to blow it up. It seems like Kevin Durant's going to be a Timberwolf next year. I read 2 days ago that there's a chance for Devin Booker to go to the Pistons because he's from Detroit. And obviously the Pistons are actually somewhat decent now. What do you guys think about Devin Booker if he was to go to the Pistons? Do you think that actually really helps the Pistons, or do you think it would hurt them? Because Cade's doing his thing right now, man.
As long as he can continue to play off ball. I mean, with Cade, because Cade needs the ball in his hand.
I mean, again, to me, I'm going to go back to the same thing we said before. It goes back to the chemistry. It goes back to the right players. And I don't know, Devin Booker is a phenomenal talent. But he hasn't been on a lot of teams that have done well.
Trey, he's 2-3 years removed from the finals.
That was the anomaly. That was one.
Trey is a hater, man. So many of these players. I'm learning so much.
Listen, I'm not. I just said he's a great player. He's a
I know.
phenomenal talent.
And he plays
He's a
so
phenomenal
well on the
talent.
USA. The thing, I think he's an adaptable player. I don't know if
He
I'd
did
like
play
him to
well
go
on
to
the USA
Detroit.
team.
I would rather Detroit. You know who I'd really love on Detroit is Banchero. I wish if Banchero and Cade could get teamed up together, I think that would be an awesome team.
I will say this. Let's go back to the USA basketball. Devin Booker did play well on the USA team and
Yeah.
played a role. He is getting towards the latter part of his career, second half of his career. Maybe he has some perspective. Maybe he really wants to win and would see himself as a great, not role player necessarily, he'd start, but a great kind of, side piece on that team. That would be interesting to watch that development because he's a phenomenal talent. He's incredible. I just haven't seen the chemistry work with anybody yet, except he did play pretty well in the USA team.
Yeah, he did well with Chris, and he did well with Chris Paul. So he could do well with Cade because Cade's averaging, I think, 25 and 9 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. They might even just like if they were to pair up together, they might just be a John Wall, Bradley Beal type duo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibe I would feel with that. Like I would like it on paper. I'd like it on 2K, but in reality, I just feel like it's going to be, like you said, John Wall and Brad Beal 2.0. The Wizards. It's going to be the Wizards again. Go ahead.
Yeah, there have been very few successful teams when your best players are 1-2. Very few. Golden State might be one of the exceptions where your best players are your point guard and your shooting guard.
Yeah, it's tough. You need a big guy or a strong.
Almost every other team has one player that's one big that's a dominant big.
Yeah.
Even if it's Kevin Garnett in the Celtics run, like they had him, and Pierce was pretty big as well. Like it's hard to be a great team when your best players are just 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Warriors played such a dynamic, solid basketball, and they had the right pieces outside of that, like Draymond, so many others. They were able to pull it off. They even had some decent bigs, like not great bigs, but decent bigs. It's almost like the Bulls. They never had a dominant big, but they had Will Perdue did a good job. They had, Luke Longley did a good job.
They knew their role.
Rarely do you find a team that does well when their best players are 1-2.
Yeah,
that's hard to do.
Yeah, it is. All right, so a couple minutes left. Who's your March Madness pick to win it all?
Well,
Roll Tide.
I'm embarrassed to say.
Roll Tide. Okay.
I'm going Houston.
Duke. I don't know why.
Houston.
H-Town. Okay.
Hometown.
I pick Duke. I don't know why. I think I'm like harboring back to my 90s era where I'm still like Duke. They're going to do it this year again. Like I was such a big Duke fan, and they got we'll see what happens with injuries, but
yeah. Well, I mean, Cooper Flagg's healthy.
They played well in the ACC tournament without him. That gave me hope. That's why
they
I was like,
great without him.
They played really well. Mm-hmm. So again, that could go either way, Tommy. That could be like maybe they're better without Cooper. That's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
or maybe Cooper's going to mess up the chemistry they just got in the tournament. I don't know.
No,
I think he's a great player. So
I think when you see a guy go down from injury, the good teams rally and they want to like put their best foot forward. And if you haven't played, it's a different style of play, right? So your scouting report is gone because Cooper's not there, and so everybody has to adjust. And after a couple of games, everybody's probably adjusted. Now you got tape on them, and they can adjust. So I went with Florida. I don't know. I just felt like they made a good run.
We all have different picks. This is interesting. We all have different picks. That's exciting. That rarely happens. I'll tell you the team I'm most excited to see how far they go is Drake. I don't know if you know this or not, but most of the players on Drake's team came from the Kansas City area where I'm from.
They did. Yeah.
And
Division II
and
guys.
Mizzou did not recruit them, and they just took down Mizzou.
Yeah.
And I was pretty excited about that.
Where's Drake located?
It's in Iowa. I'm excited to see how far they can go because like half the team is from Kansas City.
Yeah,
which I'm excited about. And they just beat MU. And those, it's amazing. A 25 win or 28 win conference champion team that's mid-level is better than a 7th seed SEC team. Mm-hmm. And people don't necessarily understand that. Like these guys won. They like winning begets winning. These guys know how to win tough games. They know how to win conference championships. They know how to win. So that's why you see these 12, 13 seeds and sometimes go on a run.
Yeah.
Because they're really good teams. And they have the benefit still of being together more than just 1 year. And all these big programs, a lot of times it's one and done or one and transfer and all that. So
yeah.
I'm excited to see how far Drake can go. They're my sleeper pick to get to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. I like that Kansas is out. I'm just not a Kansas fan.
Kansas and Mizzou both out. Get them out. You know what's weird is seeing KU first of all as a 7 seed. Like that was weird because they're that's the lowest seed Bill Self has ever had at Kansas, which is crazy stat to think about. Like he's been so successful. But I think that as much as I don't like some aspects of NIL, it's also created parity now in college basketball in a way that it's never had before. I mean, there's always blue bloods, and there were like 10 teams. Like 10 teams. This is the only 10 teams that go in the thing, almost like
true.
SEC football. So it's definitely given some of these other teams a shot, and I think that makes it actually more enjoyable. It makes it harder to pick. I think we're going to see more 16-1 upsets over the years because of this.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. I mean, when you knock out a number 1, it doesn't matter what seed you are. If you knock out the number 1, like that just feels so good. So
heck yeah,
that excites me to see that kind of stuff happening. But
yeah. So SEC is really strong now. How many SEC teams in the Sweet 16? It's probably hard to pull off the top of your head, but I mean, I think they had 12 in the tournament?
4. I'm going to say 4.
I think I've got 6. I've got Auburn, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky.
Yeah, I should look at my.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 4.
I guess I should look at my bracket so I can answer what I actually put on paper.
2.
I should have put Vandy, man. Got to cheer for the local Nashville boys, but.
So I have Auburn and Texas A&M. They're an SEC team now, right? A&M.
Pretty sure they are. Yeah,
I have 4. I have 4.
3. It's Texas Tech they're Big 12, right?
They're still Big 12. Yeah.
Yeah, I have 6 as well.
I have 4.
4.
And they're matching up against each other. So Auburn and Texas A&M, I got them matching up, and I've got Tennessee and Kentucky matching up. So
that's what I have too. And then I
only
have
have 2 in the
Alabama.
Elite 8. Yeah, I got 2 in the Elite 8.
Some good coaching matchups too, man. We got I'm excited to watch Patino versus Calipari. We just got to see Patino versus Bill Self. That's
I know. I was excited about that too.
That's the thing too. Like it goes back to the point that it all starts with great coaching.
Mm-hmm.
You take a great coach and you put him at a nothing school, give him a couple of years, they're going to be a winner.
Oh yeah,
and it happens so often.
They got to have certain amenities and money and whatnot, but they're not going to go to a program that doesn't have those things.
Yep.
Exactly. Probably not, but I still think that you put any coach at any school who's a winner, they'll find a way to make that school a winner.
Well, Patino was there.
Overachieve.
Wasn't he at Iona before St. John's?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, and they made the tournament.
Yep. So was Jim Valvano. He was at Iona as well.
Yeah.
And they went to the tournament before he got the job at NC State.
Yeah. So
coach,
man.
You take these great coaches and you put them anywhere, and they will figure it out. They just know how to win.
Yeah,
it's fun.
That's what's cool about March Madness.
I know
coaching plays a big factor.
Probably bigger than any other. Well, definitely bigger than NBA. I mean, it's important, but it's more important in college basketball for sure.
Awesome.
For sure.
Well, I think we're at the end of our rope here, time wise.
I'm gonna go buy a Kawhi Leonard jersey. Just kidding.
No, Norman Powell. Norman Powell.
Yeah, I got Kawhi. I'm gonna get Trey a Kawhi Leonard jersey. I'm gonna get Tommy a Norman Powell jersey.
Yeah. Awesome.
We'll get you a Harden jersey, brother.
Oh, listen, they beat Houston in the first round. I'll wear it. I'll wear it on the show. I'll do that.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
Awesome. All right, gents.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend.
See you guys. Cheers.
Yep.